Welcome back, everybody. Today's video is going to be reflection on the patch 7.33 day 1 meta update. Incredibly long title, but not that long of a video because we're going to be short, sweet, to the point. Let's go BSJ, non-stoppable intros, whatever. So 7.33 is a huge freaking patch if you didn't realize that already. The map itself, just like other things you guys may be thinking of right now, is huge. So that has a lot of implications. I'm in a private lobby right now, and we're just going to talk about some key features of the map that are really affecting the meta. So here's how I'm looking at the carry meta right now. It feels really hard still to stay in lane reliably. If like you get ganked by the mid, or like the enemy 5 just walks to here and comes to your lane down here, then they can boot you out. Doesn't always happen. People may not be doing it yet, but it's happened to me enough times, and I didn't feel like I could do anything about it. So picking carries that can jungle around like level 5 or 6, I think is really important, unless you're picking really late in the draft and you think you're just going to absolutely own the lane. I want you guys to know I'm speaking from a carry perspective, but I want you guys to think about how this affects your role. So the thing is, in the past, if I got booted out of my lane as a carry, I only had like one place to go. That was this jungle, potentially like another lane. So if I wasn't in lane, they would know where I was going. But now I've got all these camps behind me in these like fucking dumbass places. Okay, you see this? Like these camps, they're so far out of the way that it's like, not only do people on the enemy team have to go like smoke from here and then all the way to here, and then they have to find you in the duration of the smoke, there's a chance that you could just be right here. So there's so many places for them to find that I feel like hunting in the jungle and like the early to mid game is like absolutely impossible. So carries that can participate somewhat early in terms of like ganks, as well as like map play, like pushing towers potentially, but also like the ones that really want to jungle. Like this is like the carry list I'm looking at, like PL, Naga, TB, like Alchemist SF, like Luna, Sven are like on my radar, Wraith King's on my radar, but I'm just playing a few heroes at a time right now. So the idea is this combined with BKB being a terrible item. Now there are heroes that rely on BKB. These heroes that have relied on BKB, they still buy BKB, but BKB got heavily nerfed. It's noticeable in the games, and I would rather play heroes that don't have to buy it. So we're talking illusion heroes, we're talking stat-based heroes, and I haven't gotten the chance, but I've seen it in 2 of my games. The right-click Zeus, I don't think's a meme. I lost to Mickey from Team Liquid playing right-click Zeus in my game. His build was Treads Orchid because he had an IO, but I think a lot of people are going Kaya Yasha, disassembling into Manta, Shard, Dragonlance. He went Hurricane Pike, Lincoln Scotty, and did like the most damage in the game. So he was basically a drow, but instead of being physical damage, it's a bunch of chain lightnings. But, so the map is huge. Here's the pace of the game that I've been noticing. One team, generally speaking, has won the early game pretty hard. They just run over the game. Most of my games have been pretty one-sided. Now, that might be a result of the fact that the patch is fresh and people are kind of coming back and doing stupid things, and that's why lanes are kind of getting stompy. But what happens after that is it's incredibly hard to like end the game in any meaningful way. What I'm thinking is if one team tries to group up and take this tier 3 tower, in the past, if I wanted to cut this creep wave to prevent them from having a creep wave, I had to do some like, shady ass maneuvers to like try to avoid them, right? And there's only like 3 paths I could have taken. Now, there's like a bajillion paths I could take to even get there from this side, or I could just come from here. I could just use this way gate, twin gate thing, TP to here, clear the wave, and then go back bottom. So it feels nearly impossible to just group up and push a lane. And because Roche is in the side lanes rather than in the mid lane, it feels like the side lanes are much more important on average. So what I'm basically seeing is a ton of split pushing. A ton of basically the game at like 15 to 20 minutes devolves into this split pushing, ganking, people feeding all over the map. Like that's just what happens in my games. Like we're just pulling up this game, 53 minutes, 109 kills. We're pulling up this game, which was an hour with 96 kills. This game, which is 40 minutes with 80 kills. I think you guys are getting the idea, right? It's just split pushing mayhem all over the place, and that is what the meta is looking like. So these are the carries I'm looking to pick. I feel like the offlaners with global presence feel really powerful right now, or gank potential. So either gank potential or global presence. We're talking like Nature's Prophet, we're talking Underlord, we're thinking Legion Commander, Axe, Dawnbreaker. I'm not exactly sure about the early game for offlaners, but those are the heroes I've been having the most annoying presence against. The supports, like I think Io All healing supports with the way Regen has been reworked feel really good right now. Like Warlock probably is good. I haven't actually seen him, but like a lot of my issues in lane have been sustained. Heroes that heavily rely on mangoes I think have kind of fallen out of favor. Supports that scale, like I think Jakiro's insane. I just got done playing him. Like Enchantress feels really good right now. So like all lane dominators, healers, heroes that scale with farm, they kind of like do their own thing on the map. Heroes that like hold areas and like sit there camping and like turtling, I don't think's a thing. You want heroes that can be very obnoxious on the map and have like 2-man kill squads. That's just what I'm seeing in like every game so far. And even though there's a lot of mayhem, that has reigned consistently true. It also feels like everybody's getting a lot more farm. So that means that what I mean by everybody's getting a lot more farm, they're not necessarily getting more GPM, but they're getting more access to farm as the game goes on because there's this like 30-minute period of everybody just killing each other. When I've played carry, it felt absolutely miserable. Like it felt like everybody was able to kill me because they had items and they were splitting and I didn't have vision in places because there's just so many hills to ward and so many camps to farm. And then when I played support, it felt like the complete opposite. I was like hunting people. I actually was enabled to carry these games. So oddly enough, I do think supports are pretty impactful this patch. So looking to pick farming supports with scaling, I think is really important. Somebody asked a great question. Is this patch fun? And I'm telling you guys, every game has been racking my brain wondering what the hell is going on. And I am having an absolute freaking blast. I'm just telling you guys, my recommendation, pick a few heroes for your role. You know, you can kind of go based on what I'm saying, but choose some heroes, play them, feel it out. Let me know what your guys' impressions are. Come to my Twitch channel. Tell me what you think of the patch. Do you agree with my take? Do you think I'm fucking insane? Is it different in your Herald games? Sorry, guys. We know who you are. But, so let's talk about a few heroes that I think are really strong. So PL's win rate is insane right now. It's like 60% in Immortal. The reason why I think PL's win rate's really high amongst all other things is that he has this recovery time. It's really hard for the game to end. But then most notably, a big change about BKB is that any ability that doesn't go through BKB, like hexes, stuns, like anything, you can cast it on a BKB target and it will apply the debuff. But so when they're BKB'd, it doesn't do anything. But the second the BKB ends, they get debuffed by it. But the emphasis about this is that you can cast Spirit Lance on BKB targets, which is something you used to not be able to do. And I'm telling you as a PL spammer, it's a really important thing to be able to do this in team fights. So I had the Ags, which gives you now 2 bounces, so you're throwing out 3 illusions. And then there's no item that they can buy that prevents you from doing that, other than Linken's or you're against Anti-Mage or something like that, because people usually have to buy BKB against you because you burn their mana otherwise, and now you're creating illusions. So even though they block the damage of the Spirit Lance, the illusions still spawn, and then you can kill people with them. So I think that's why PL's win rate is so insanely high. I've been seeing a ton of Enchantress. They buffed her impetus damage without noting it in the patch notes. So she does like 25% more damage with impetus, which is a lot. Void Spirit's win rate's really high. Just saw my first Void Spirit last game. It scaled really hard. I think any split pushers, Puck, I think all the split pushers that can buy Boots of Travel and Kaya are super strong. I think any hero that fits that description that has a decent laning phase is really strong. Little side notes on the map. These 2 camps, this one in the river here, this one in the river here, these 2 camps, I'm now calling them the camps of death, okay? I've probably farmed those camps past 30 minutes 5 times and died 3 times. I want you to think of these camps as purely for the ultra early game where there's like 7 minutes in where there's just no way they're ganking you. And if you're split pushing or farming mid to late game, you only farm these camps if you see all of the heroes on the enemy team that will kill you. This is officially the camp of frickin' death. The wisdom runes are really nice. They spawn every 7 minutes over here. Keeping an eye out for that's actually really important. It's a nice bolster to your XP. Illusion heroes are really good at killing this, the Tormentor. The illusions split the damage, so PL can pretty much solo it. Any hero with a Manta plus like 1 support can usually kill it. So I think Manta is like a super strong item purely for that purpose. You get like a super early shard and then everybody gets 250 gold. I think it's everybody. Maybe it's just the one person that kills it. But it feels really good to kill this thing. Like as close to 20 minutes as possible. I think you pretty much need a Manta in order to do it because it distributes the damage to the illusions. A lot of common ward spots I'm seeing. The most common one is on this Waygate because you want to be able to effectively prevent the opponent and control them from using the Waygate to come to yours. If you're like, say you're predominantly playing bottom and they're predominantly playing top. So a lot of it's setting up for Roche. I've had a few games that either turned south or almost lost because I was playing around bottom, not realizing that Roche was about to move to top. and then Roche moved to top, and the opponent just took it. So that's something to really keep an eye out. Roche goes back and forth every 5 minutes on the day-night cycle. So Roche does seem really hard to contest. It feels like whatever team is better set up on it, it's like really difficult for the other team to get there, because it's just like not like mid, right? It's not like when Roche was here where either team can TP to like outpost or towers. It's just like really wonky to get yourself down here. It's like once you're out on the map, it's not that hard to like maneuver around the map using these twin gates and like going back and forth, but it's really hard for the entire team to get there. So if one team's set up, I feel like they pretty much just get Roche. I feel like there's been very few Roche fights. Very few. And that's why I think there's a lot more pickoffs and skirmishes, because like these standstills for Roche, I haven't seen happen a single time this patch. It might end up happening when people get better at timing it, but so far it's not. The double ancient camp does feel really nice. For Battle Fury builders, I played Luna. It felt really nice playing Luna with the double ancient camp, especially around neutral item spawns. So that's my meta update for 7.33 day 1. Stay tuned for more, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Enjoy the patch. See you guys later. Dota Christmas, etc. Bye.